And welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Cam Rogers. Happy NFL Draft Eve. I've got 9 juicy rumors to get through. They're always juicy, aren't they, of course? Let's talk about Tremaine Edmunds. What's the deal? Is it a done deal? 3 Jetheads on this one were faithful in this rumor. So Tony Pauline of Draft Analyst reported the Niners won't trade out of their current top 10 slot if Edmunds is available because, quote, he is the player the team covets. Now, the 19-year-old Virginia native racked up 108 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles across 13 games last year, posted 94 tackles as a sophomore in 2016. I believe the 49ers would be happy with either Edmunds or Roquan Smith there at number 9 overall. The dream scenario, a Bradley Chubb, a Quenton Nelson somehow falls there, but I really think they're zoning in on linebacker at that top slot there inside the top 10 for San Francisco. Obviously, it's a need with the whole Reuben Foster situation ongoing, and folks, that could drag on longer than you think. The legal process tends to take a while. So 3 jet heads there on Tremaine Edmunds heading to San Francisco. What do those heads mean? Let's take a look at the rumor meter. 0 jet heads, fake news. Do not believe in that rumor. 1 jet head, there's little truth to it. 2 jet heads firmly in the rumor category. 3 jet heads were faithful in it, and 4 jet heads, it's happening. You know, some of the YouTube commenters out there have been saying, he always does 2 jet heads. Well, I'm mixing it up on this show today, folks, so you should be very happy. Let's get to rumor number 2 here. Are the Niners going edge rusher over linebacker? So this is an interesting one. I'm giving this 1 jet head. I think there's little truth to it, so if Chubb is off the board, honestly, any edge rusher would be a reach. Talking about Harold Landry and Marcus Davenport, the list goes on. The reality is, after Chubb, there is a drop-off at that position. Now, with that said, if San Francisco trades back, shall we say, and maybe they can get a Landry or Davenport more in their range, then that would make more sense. But going edge rusher over linebacker at number 9 overall makes 0 sense, at least in my eyes. I give little truth to this rumor here. I don't see them passing on Tremaine Edmunds or Roquan Smith to go with a Marcus Davenport or Harold Landry. Just wouldn't add up there. So with that, what's the biggest need for the 49ers? Give me a heart for a linebacker, a like for edge rusher, laughing face for cornerback, and a wow face for guard. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit me up in the comments section below with your respective reactions. I'll be tracking what you guys say, and if you have any questions, I'll be sure to answer as well. So, speaking of Davenport, will the 49ers draft him? That's rumor number 3 on the list here. Giving this one 1 jet head as well. So, little truth to it, at least in my opinion. So, Matt Barrows ranked Davenport as the 4th best option on his list here at number 9 overall, and I just don't see it. I don't think the 49ers value Davenport that highly. I will credit Barrows on this. He gives it an 11% chance that Davenport does get drafted by San Francisco. He has a good combination of size and strength. There's no doubt about that, but has really yet to put it all together on a consistent basis. And that's what kind of scares me about Davenport, and really what scares me about any edge rusher not named Bradley Chubb at number 9 overall. It's all about the return on investment here. I don't think Davenport will provide number 9 overall type of return. So in that vein, I'm hoping the 49ers don't look at him too hard. As you see there, though, a slim chance that San Francisco goes in his direction. So 1 jet head on that. All right, let's get to rumor number 4. Is drafting Roquan Smith the best case scenario for San Francisco? Firmly in the rumor category, 2 jet heads here, and I'm not saying 3 or 4 for the following reason. Wouldn't best case scenario be Bradley Chubb falling to number 9 or Quenton Nelson falling to number 9? Heck, even Saquon Barkley being there. Because if you think about it, it'd be fantastic trade bait if you want to trade back for somebody who's really desperate to get Saquon, or you draft Saquon, you use him for trade bait, whatever the case may be. I don't think Roquan Smith is necessarily the best case scenario. I think it's the most realistic scenario, either Roquan or Tremaine Edmunds being available at number 9 and San Francisco going ahead and drafting one of those linebackers. But Best case, I'm not buying into that all the way there. That report coming from ESPN, so 2 jet heads on that one, firmly in the rumor category. Let's get to rumor number 5. Are the 49ers drafting Quenton Meeks? So this is a follow-up on a previous episode, still firmly in the rumor category here, folks, but I will say this. He is recently getting mocked to the 49ers in several editions out there on the interwebs, and Meeks is extremely skilled in press coverage, constantly jamming receivers at the line and showing the ability to transition easily. He has a great ability to mirror receivers as well. I wonder if he'll be available on day 3, at which case he'd be fantastic value. I don't think he will. I'm leaning towards day 2, but we'll see what happens with Meeks. 17 pass deflections and 7 interceptions in his career. Corner is obviously no longer a pressing need, certainly not as pressing as it used to be for San Francisco, but certainly a name to monitor. I love that size too. 6'2", 205 pounds, really fantastic, just raw talent there for Quenton Meeks. So quality day 3 pick in my opinion. Let's get to rumor number 6. Are the Niners going to cut Reuben Foster? 2 jet heads on this one. John Lynch recently spoke to the media on the ongoing legal situation here, and Lynch noted that the, quote, gravity of the charges is not lost on the organization. So Lynch essentially said that the 49ers will cut Reuben Foster if Foster is convicted of the charges before him, which include an alleged attack on his girlfriend, domestic violence with an allegation that he inflicted great bodily harm, that is the official charge, forcefully attempting to prevent a victim from reporting a crime, and possession of an assault weapon. So 3 charges there. So if Foster is indeed found guilty, it looks like he will no longer be a member of the San Francisco 49ers. But again, it's a long and grueling process. That is the legal situation here in the United States. So it could be a while before we really know the ultimate decision with Reuben Foster. One thing is for sure. San Francisco has to look at linebacker there in that first round of the NFL draft. Speaking of the draft, will they get Mike McGlinchey at number 9 overall? So this is a name that hasn't really been on my radar. 1 jet head here. I think there's little truth to it. So Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com seems to think that the 49ers could get him. Now, this is interesting considering San Francisco does have Trent Brown coming back from injury and Garrett Gilliam as well that they could slot in there at right tackle. Of course, Joe Staley anchors things at left tackle. I guess the logic here from Daniel Jeremiah is that eventually Mike McGlinchey could be the successor to Joe Staley. I'm not buying into that, though. Mike McGlinchey has a future at right tackle, in my opinion. He has pass protection issues, but he's a really good road grader, great run blocker. And so if San Francisco were to draft him, again, 1 jet head on this, he would be more of a right tackle of the future there. Certainly not at left tackle, in my opinion. Let's get to rumor number 8 here. Will the 49ers go with a cornerback on day 3 of the NFL draft? Feeling pretty good about this one. 3 jet heads, pretty darn close to giving it 4. And, you know, corner, like I said, used to be a need for San Francisco before Richard Sherman came to town. And I have a lot of confidence in Akello Witherspoon and K'Wan Williams there at slot corner. The problem is there's a lack of depth. And so in that regard, San Francisco could look to cornerbacks on day 3. You see on your screen there, I want you to zone in on this name. Trey Herndon out of Vanderbilt. Just under 6 feet, weighs 188 pounds, good footwork, highly instinctive, and not afraid to get his nose dirty there. So, yes, there's been some ties between the 49ers and some first-round cornerbacks, such as Denzel Ward and Josh Jackson. Would not buy into those rumors too much, but I would certainly buy into this rumor that the Niners could go cornerback on day 3. And finally here, are the 49ers going to draft wide receiver Brandon Shed? Who? Yeah, 2 jet heads here. It's from a D3 school, and this is very interesting considering there's very little information out there about him. He's a wide receiver out of Hobart. Good size, though, 6'2", 192 pounds, solid route running ability as well. I recently mentioned how the Niners are interested and Doris Fontaine, wide receiver out of a small school called Northern Iowa. So I'm sensing some sort of theme here. 2 Jedheads firmly in the rumor category about Brandon Shedd.